Hey, this is the real Tom Rose, and we're doing a roots question here. You can think of this as a quadratics question also because we're dealing with a quadratic equation here. This is a dastardly problem. I actually really love it. This is evil ACT. But what they've done is they've given you a quadratic, and part of what makes this evil is they have not specified what a is. They've just put the letter a in there, but they haven't given you a number. And they tell you one of the roots of this quadratic is 6. So this requires that you have a pretty good facility with roots. So typically when you solve a quadratic equation, what you'll get is you'll have two binomials that look like this. You'll have x plus something equals 0. We want to put it in that form. And then you can tell what the roots are by looking at the question mark. Now, they're telling us one of the roots of this is 6. So we know that one of these is going to have this form, x minus 6. And the way that you read the root is it's actually the opposite of whatever number is next to the x. This is a little counterintuitive, but see how this is x minus 6? What that means is that the root is 6. So it's the negative value of whatever you find there. So what we need to do is we need to pick the other half of this, and what we need is we need to pick it, and what we will find is what we're hoping to find is the value of the other root floating on the right side of this. And what we need to make sure happens is we need to make sure that when we pick that number, we need to make sure that it conforms to the requirements of this equation, because they tell us that this is the equation that is equivalent to both of these, right? So we can't just pick any old number. We have to pick a number which makes it equal to this equation. So another thing that you need to know about binomials is when you multiply the two numbers that are standing by themselves, those numbers need to multiply to give you the standalone number in the equation. So those two numbers need to multiply together to give you positive 12. So we have negative 6 is one of them, which means we need a negative 2 in the other one. So this will be your binomial. This is your quadratic. It's x minus 6 and x minus 2. Right? The way you can test this is multiply the negative 6 and the negative 2. Do you get 12? And the answer is yes. They also told us that one of the roots is 6. Do you have a root that's 6? Yes. So this must be the other root. So if what you have in the binomial is negative 2, then the root will actually be positive 2. So the answer here will be the first choice. Whew. Okay, that was pretty complicated.